Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on all things narcissism. And as always, my favorite part is when I share various proverbs or pithy little aphorisms that show up online, and we break them down in terms of how they relate to narcissism. I also want to remind everyone that healing program, we're on the cusp of it. Registration starts real soon. We're just getting a couple more tech things worked out, but please go to the video notes, hit that link. You'll be put on a list, and then all that information will be sent to you so you can proceed if you want. Because the healing from this, I mean, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it's the healing from narcissistic abuse that's really going to let you go to the next step. And this is where this video gets interesting, because I'm going to take on something that's not so much a proverb, but something that people like to say. And I think it's a real tricky one for folks who are trying to deal with narcissistic abuse. Ready? Today's proverb is, you teach people how to treat you. And before I get to that, if you're new to this channel, please join us. Hit that, hit that subscribe button. Join this wonderful community. The comment section alone is worth being on this particular channel. And I think that these proverbs and sayings teach us a lot about what we need to know and don't, and actually not good for us in terms of narcissism. So this idea, you teach people how to treat you, it isn't a proverb. It's a statement that I see lots of coaches and folks who talk about being your best self talk about. And it's all over social media sites for people. I guess it's supposed to teach people to assert themselves or something like that. I kind of wish we had a voting tool on YouTube, because if we did, I'd use it right now, because I'd like to see how well you know me. Does Dr. Ramani like this statement of you teach people how to treat you? It's almost like I want you to pause the video and put it in the comments. Okay, so what's the answer? Does Dr. Ramani like this idea of you teach people how to treat you? No, I don't like it. I actually hate it. And why is that? Well, let's see. Maybe it's the part about putting the entire onus for a person's being treated badly onto themselves. Maybe the narcissist abused you because you didn't show them how to treat you. So once again, let's blame the person being narcissistically abused. Well, after all, you didn't show them how to treat you, rather than keeping the focus on where the bad behavior is really coming from, and then instead teaching the person being abused how to protect themselves and not engage. Because no matter how much a person treats themselves well in an attempt to show a narcissistic person how to treat them, the damn narcissist isn't paying attention, and they're going to always treat you the way that works for them. Little maxims like this one, like, oh, you show people how to treat you, they really anger me. Listen, I understand what the proclaimers of this proverb are trying to do. They're trying to condition you to treat yourself well, with the anticipation that that behavior will be mirrored by others. It's a nice idea in principle. It doesn't work in practice, and it sure as hell doesn't work with narcissists. So let's start at the very beginning. If you had a narcissistic parent or parents, I can promise you that nobody taught you how to treat yourself or treat yourself well, nor did you get any benchmark of decent treatment. You likely witnessed a narcissistic parent mistreat the other parent in yourself and your siblings. So without a roadmap or a template, exactly how is someone supposed to learn how to treat themselves? Schools don't do much better. Sure, they may do some basic stuff about manners and waiting in line, but I actually don't think, especially as kids get older, that there is a sufficient focus on teaching children and adolescents about boundaries, about what toxic behavior is, and about how to walk away when people are treating you badly. Schools, religious communities, and families teach people about stuff like forgiveness and second chances, none of which is going to be useful if you are dealing with a narcissistic person. So, you come out of childhood into adolescence. There's actually very little discourse about how people should be treated. Basically, not a lot of people are told exactly what are the minimum requirements for a healthy human relationship. I'm shocked when it is still a revelation to many people when I tell them that the basic starter kit for a relationship is respect, kindness, compassion, mutuality, self-awareness, and growth. When is this taught? Again, if you don't know it, how are you going to, you don't even know how to ask for this in a relationship. I actually think we get more BS lessons about not quitting relationships and staying in bad situations and giving second chances and relationships are hard than we are taught about what actually makes a relationship good and healthy. Then, from adolescence, when you come into adulthood, dating, work relationships, friendships, and narcissism, all bets are off. As I said, many people who experience narcissistic abuse are confident. They feel good about themselves before their relationships begin, and they do actually teach people how to treat them. There's lots of healthy people out there who know about boundaries and self-respect and self-value, but they may not know about love bombing and gaslighting and rage and invalidation and devaluation and discarding and hoovering. They may not understand that charm and charisma are a mask. And they may actually keep trying to teach the narcissist how to treat them and simply be met back with gaslighting and minimization. So then, this person who is trying to teach the narcissist how to treat them keeps teaching them, and the hole just keeps getting dug deeper. The only teaching that needs to happen is to teach someone how to get the hell out of a narcissistic relationship early, while the getting out is good. I suppose there's a bit of a half-truth in this idea that we teach people how to treat us. But there's also the rest of the story, that people need to be taught how to treat other people. Because the narcissists don't know how to treat other people, and frankly, they don't care. We cannot be the only teachers for ourselves in the midst of a world that is full of entitlement and incivility and dysregulated rage everywhere. In fact, if someone tries to teach a narcissist how to teach them, it's a bit masochistic because they're then going to have to deal with humiliation and rage. That's more likely than the narcissist taking that lesson and saying, oh, that's how I'm supposed to treat them, and implementing it. Because once people get into narcissistic relationships, there can be a tendency to make justifications and excuses, perhaps even blame yourself for not teaching them how to treat you. It's not you. While I do believe that, yes, self-respect and self-awareness are important and valuable and set a standard for others in how they treat us, the fact is it gets a person nowhere when it comes to a narcissist. I will say this. If you do try to teach the narcissist how to treat you early on, they may leave. If you have good boundaries, you don't fall for their BS, you recognize the red flags early, and you don't attempt to justify their behavior or give them second chances, you may find that the narcissistic person may get up and leave the relationship, which is a win. So having good boundaries, healthy expectations, and a willingness to be pretty strict in how you identify red flags has the potential to weed out the narcissist early on and not get you into a hell of feeling that you need to teach them how to treat you. Let's face it, it's a lesson that they are not willing to learn, and it's not worth your exhaustion or you depleting your bandwidth trying to do the impossible. The bottom line is this. A lot of these sort of easy, breezy, self-affirming sentiments are nice and simple. But these nice and simple statements don't tend to hold true with narcissistic people, and they can actually get people sunk into cycles of self-blame. And there's a real challenge. If you're in a narcissistic relationship, reading these, again, relationship sites online and their quotes, they're perfectly fine quotes if it's two healthy people in a relationship. But once you get into the world of narcissistic relationships, reading a lot of this online content can actually lead to a lot of shame, which is something I don't want for any of you. So when you read these kinds of pithy things, remember, a lot of it doesn't apply to narcissistic relationships. Thanks again.